Oh, there we go. Hello.
Ah, here we are.
We done it.
Here we are. I can't hear you.
Can you not hear me?
No.
Is it your
Maybe it's
accent?
my
Is it
headphones.
your outrageous accent?
Maybe I get rid of this.
Can you hear?
Here we go. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I
Oh,
can
oui,
hear
oui.
you.
Ah, oui, oui. Ah,
Et
good.
voila. Et voila.
Oh,
Et
voilà.
voilà. Nice to see you, Adam, here on this platform. I've been looking forward to it all week. We've been on the phone, haven't we? We've been
Yeah.
excited.
Mate, I've
Very
been buzzing.
excited.
Honestly, this is literally a follow on from Sunday that I came to your house, and it's nice to find someone that you just automatically click with. I think because
Yes.
we're both so passionate about the industry that this hour will go by like a flash.
Yeah.
And so I come to yours on Sunday. I come with Nicole and Winston,
It
and
was,
yeah,
it was really nice to have you both there as well.
yeah, it was lovely. But
It was really good.
it just flew by. Um, yeah,
No, I think this hour is going to flow by, and as well, especially if we get kind of like carried away like we did on Sunday, just chatting. But
no,
that's
but
what
no, we won't. That's not us. That's not us
exactly,
at all.
exactly.
We won't go off on little tangents. It's fine.
Not at all, not at all. So, should we? Should we? I mean, right, that's it. It's 7:30. I think we can start the landscaper's life
Okay.
by maybe sure, Adam, if you start and you explain why you know it crossed your mind because the reason why we both come to it, I had you on the phone before you were live with the London Stone, Steve,
Yeah.
and I remember just saying I really want to do a live, and you were like, me too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was literally last week. We're like, let's just do it. Let's just do it.
So
You know.
it was something in the back of my mind. So I've got the Open Utopian, which is basically a podcast for business for entrepreneurs. Because I'm very as well as landscaping, I love business, and that's
Yeah.
the whole premise. But in the back of my mind, I always wanted a podcast because landscaping has done so much for me that I wanted to do a podcast about landscaping.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think I had that in my head, and it was so bizarre that you rang me and was like, "Oh, should we do a podcast together?" And just like, no way.
It was
I was
meant to
like,
be.
"Yeah, let's do it." I was like, "Let's do it," and that's why I
Yeah.
wanted to come to you. That's why I was like, "I've got to come to you." Obviously, we've already met. We met at Futurescape,
Yeah.
but I wanted to come to your house to kind of feel your energy. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was going to. Well, I mean, like I said, we met at Futurescape, and that was great. But it was so short, and so much to see, and so many people to see, and stuff like that. So when you came on Sunday, it really kind of reaffirmed that we were, perfectly suited to kind of, go in this venture a little bit together.
Yeah.
We've got very similar, ideas, although, we might not always think the same thing, but, I think it's
But
going to work really well.
I think you hit a key point is that you don't want people to be thinking the exact same idea because then no one will progress. If you're all
No,
thinking the same thing, um, and yeah, this is what. So for this platform, I want this platform to be somewhere that people can sort of share ideas, learn, and grow.
yeah,
Whereas my experience has been on Facebook is that it's been, oh, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. Whereas, hang on a minute, just no, let's focus on the good. Ignore the bad. Bad workmanship is always going to happen. But how can we improve? How can we do our best? So what this is about is bringing on people that can share their stories, share their ideas, and can help sort of bring the industry forward.
well, exactly. I think the platform, as in what we're trying to do, but as well linked to Instagram. I personally really enjoy the platform, the interaction, and like you were saying, it's not trying to point out what this geezer's done wrong or this one's done wrong. It's really helping each other. I get a lot of messages, how did you do this or how would you do this? And the same, if I'm not sure, I've got so many people that I would trust to ask. And I remember we kind of touched on that point where when I started 10 years ago, if I had what landscapers are sharing today on this platform, it would have saved me a lot of aggro because I've done some silly stuff over the, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we'll touch on that.
yeah.
But I just want to explain why the live. So why this live? So I'm going to narrow it down to the love of the industry. So that's a big driving factor to spend every Wednesday chatting with you and some guests, and not just landscapers. Although it's called Landscapers Live, it needs to surround everything about landscapers and
So
landscaping.
suppliers and stuff, and yeah,
Exactly, you
yeah.
know, the suppliers, the designers, even if designers can be so annoying sometimes, we need them, and you know, we work alongside them, so you know, we can have very close relationship with them. And you know, I just want to touch, you know, the touchy things as well. So at the moment we are heading towards a recession, and I felt the pinch on smaller projects and things like that. So I want to be, you know, I don't want to see a voice, but I want to hear from people that are struggling, and what can we do to help and advise, you know, to go through those motions. And it might be, you know, financial struggles. It might be just, you know, lack of work, lack of this. So I just want to touch on the
Yeah,
touchy things.
there's so many different
Exactly.
avenues. There's so many different ways to pick apart,
So I
and
think that's probably those reason drives me to push the doing what we're doing tonight. So
no,
that'll
definitely.
be my take anyway.
Yeah, no, and it's giving back. So I'm part of the Barley South Thames Committee,
Yeah,
and I was in a room with like the top people in the industry, which is crazy. But it's weird to think that these people that we see as top of their game, they still have the same troubles and the same worries as we do. And
yeah,
I think that needs to translate down to us is that everyone's like we're all trying to improve the industry, we're all trying to help each other. And
yeah,
some people that you think are amazing, they're still worrying about the same because we all care.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
the other stuff aside, we all here, we all love our work, we all love the industry, we all want to help improve standards. And everyone's the same. We're all trying to figure it out. And if we can bring people on from smaller stuff starting up or bigger companies, it will give a huge sort of diverse audience, which I guess my hack. So you said you've been going 13 years. I've only been going 4. And I
yeah,
guess my little hack is maybe networking and meeting people and learning different stuff, which I hope we can do by bringing on guests, not
yeah,
just from us, but bringing on guests, is that people can get value and learn snippets of information which will save themselves maybe a year. It's
yeah,
like at a theme park. It's like buying the fast track ride, so you can go straight away on.
yeah,
If you can meet someone, obviously you've got to make your own mistakes. But if you can meet someone that goes, oh, maybe you shouldn't do this, maybe you shouldn't do this. It's essentially like the fast track ride to bypassing the queue.
yeah,
Um,
and understanding a lot more, a lot quicker.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, definitely. So Adam, like, let's explain a bit more about us personally.
yep,
And where so you just said what, 4 years? That's mental. You've done well in 4 years, haven't you?
years, yeah,
Yeah. So I've been going 10 years. You've been going 4.
yeah.
Explain where you start. Come on.
Explain. So I was working for a company. I was a project manager, running for a high-end company. I learned a lot of skills. I'm super appreciative of the experience, and did have a good experience. Not sure if I had a good experience, but I learned a lot, and I could. Whereas a project manager, I could cherry pick and learn what I wanted to learn. So I wasn't stuck on the tools and doing boring stuff. I could sort of pick and choose my sites, which had its benefits. And then whilst doing that, I was always doing weekend work.
Yeah, yeah, like private job.
Yeah, so I'd work the whole time I was there. I was there for I think a year and a half, and every weekend I'd be doing private stuff. And it got to a point that me and Nicole we went away to Nepal for a
Yeah,
month. And while I was away, I was like, I need to just do something more. There was something in me which like I need to do something more.
yeah,
And I come back home, and one of my friends at the time, he said, well, how much work have you got? I said, well, I'm not sure. So I've got loads of whiteboards around the house. So we're in my kitchen, and I wrote on my whiteboard all the work, but kind of condensed it down into, rather than over weekends, into a month.
Yeah.
And he's like, why don't you just,
First month's work.
he was like, why don't you go out on your own? He goes, most people that stay out on their own, they haven't got like a week's work. You've got a whole month worth of work.
Yeah.
And this was 4 years ago, March, almost to the day sort of thing. And I went out, and yeah, I haven't had a day of no work.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing, because if you see your growth in 4 years, it's huge. You know, you're running 2 teams now. Obviously, I met you on Sunday, so
Yeah.
I know. I'm asking the questions I didn't know, but you've got something solid. You've got lots of work coming in, and not just like fencing jobs and this. You've got quality projects coming in. So, you know, and this maybe over the weeks, you know, that's something we can kind of nitpick at. You know,
Yeah.
what did you do different than someone that's been going 4 years is still laying bog standard patio, square with some fencing and this and that and the other. So what can we do differently to, you know, no, not what can you do differently, what did
Yeah.
you do to get to that point? So that's amazing.
Yeah, I think marketing for sure, and understand. So marketing, definitely seeing the value in putting the money, investing the money into your company, but then understand that people by people. So before you set up a company, is that you need to work on yourself.
Yeah,
So if you're not someone that people trust and people value, then
exactly.
there's no point. You need to spend, before you set up a company, you need to spend time working on yourself first. And
Mm-mm.
yeah, it's just. I'm trying to summarize it, but it's a puzzle. It's picking little bits, being very intuitive, and picking little bits here and there.
Yeah,
I guess one thing that I sort of realised very early on was I did raised bed out of oak sleepers.
yeah,
This was like a couple of months in, and I was like, oh, I really want to do like a blockwork wall rendered or clad or something. But everyone that messaged me, they wanted oak sleepers because that's all they see on the website is oak sleepers.
yeah,
And so I fast forward to now, all people see on my website and people see on Instagram is full gardens.
yeah.
So I don't get any inquiries now that are just fence panels and patios. All the inquiries are full gardens because that's all I project. And that's
Yeah,
all people see.
yeah. So that's what people
It's just,
say. You're
yeah,
attracting those kind of people.
yeah. So it's just slowly. It's a long process. It wasn't overnight, but it's just a lot of hard work, a lot of
Yeah,
marketing. But it's just trying to, because people what you project, people assume that's you. So if you just keep posting stories of doing fence posts or do stories doing patios, people are going to assume that's what you're about. So they will call you if they want a patio done.
and
Whereas
as
if
well, I mean, it differs what you're after as well. So
yeah,
you know, we don't want to. If you want to be the best guy that does the best fencing out there, and
yeah,
that's what you're
no,
doing.
no, yeah.
You know, like do it to the best quality ever. That's fine, but depending. So what you're saying is like whatever you're portraying, that's the customers you're going to attract.
Okay, so that's a very fair point. So there's nothing, like you said, there's nothing wrong with being the fence or the patio person, but I would say find your niche
Yeah,
because that's so there's nothing wrong with that. But where I'd go with this conversation is that it's a very flooded market. So if you were going to be doing fence panels, sorry, or patios, you need to find a niche because it's such a flooded market that
yeah,
why would out of all these people in your local area, why choose you?
yeah.
So
What
I
makes you
think
stand out?
exactly. So it's that. If there's 10 companies, what is it about you? Because you don't want to be the person that is on price. Oh, I'll go because there was someone that approached me the other day and was like, "Oh, I'm winning loads of work. Why? Oh, because I'm the cheapest." You don't want to be. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a lot of that going on. You know, the price and the people wanted to do too much as well, offering too much. And I did it. I did it when I remember and I look at some of the stuff I did, and it's like listing, you know, fencing, patio, jet washing, this, that. Oh, and it's like, where's my niche? You know, I've got none. I'm like the jack of all trade, master of zero. So I can see that you got a really, really good point. And I think when your business grows, you kind of find that niche, or you find what you're really good at, and you run with it. Because it was not even that long ago, I was doing tree surgery. I was climbing. And now, only in the last, I would say, maybe 4 years, I've been like, okay, I really love landscaping. This is what tickles my pickle, and this is what I want to be doing every day to the highest standard that I can actually do, and push, and learn. So yeah, I think you got very good valid points there.
Yeah. So when was your, because from an outsider looking at your business and where you're at, working on these amazing projects for amazing designers.
Yeah.
When was the point? Was it 4 years ago? When was the point that you kind of?
No, I mean, it's hard to like look back. So I would say that the first ever designer job we'd done, it was a while back. It was maybe 7 years ago, and it was the first huge project Tisserand undertook. And actually, if you check on my website, I think that's still one of the main pictures. I'm so proud of it, and I worked so hard. But if I was to do it again, I would have done a lot of things differently. Like not laying with CT1. We were joking about it on the phone. But no, I lost my train of thought there. But yeah, so that was our first big project 7 years ago. But I would say in the last 2-3 years, we've not only worked with good designers, but we've created nice gardens as well. A bit like did our own designs, our own. But yeah, it's only recent really that we've been working on huge projects constantly.
Yeah.
It took me years to get to this point, and years to understand this is what I want to do. Recently, the driving factor for pushing me more towards that way is to kind of make myself recession proof in some ways. So and this, it doesn't always work. If you're going to do the big projects, like the big landscaping projects where the value of the projects is, 150 grand and above, those customers that are going to spend that kind of money, they're kind of a bit more recession proofy. And I don't want to, this is real.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's facts.
You know what I mean? So I had 10 guys, and I wanted to be the biggest firm in my area, and I wanted so I had 2 teams doing maintenance, 2 landscaping, one of the maintenance team doing tree surgery, and actually, and this is only in the last year, I'm kind of slowly realizing I don't need all of this to have a good quality of life. And I want to be sounds a bit cliche, but I want to be a craftsman. I want to be, you know what I mean? I want to be painting beautiful projects and moving forward that way. So that would be my journey. That's where I'm going with it. So my yearly plan, let's say, is to maybe have 2 landscaping teams and maybe phase out the tree surgery, and really just put, like you were saying earlier, have a niche and just be full, just landscaping at high quality with designers and stuff like that. And I really enjoy it. So that's probably where I'm going to push.
So did you do any of your own sort of design and build beforehand, or did you just
we did loads.
Yeah.
Where even I would say, so if we was to put them to value, the project between, let's say, 20 to that 40 grand projects, we did a lot of our own designs, and designers. If designers was to look at our stuff, there's so many mistakes. The feng shui wasn't right, and all the plantings a bit, it could be better, and this and that. but I did really enjoy them because the creativity is like pure creation from your mind to your
Yeah.
skill, and I really, really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed, and I still do, because even we work off drawings, and at the moment we're working for my customer Sam and designers Paul Baines, and he's had to deal with my ideas. You know, it's constant. You know, he's got this beautiful frame, but it's nothing to stop you adding a little bit
Your
of
little,
you.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, you know.
yeah,
So no, that's just working for designers doesn't mean that you have to copy paste.
yeah.
You know, I think working for designers, you have a beautiful frame and you can still make it your own. So that's what I would say. What about you? I mean, are you going to work a bit more? You said to me you got a few projects with designers this year, but mainly it's all your own designs.
Yeah, so up until now, we've done our own stuff, and that's just because of, and you've you've sort of changed my sort of thinking about it. But so we typically do 20 to 60, 20 to 80, but
Yeah.
that's because the clients are lovely, the clients are home all the time. We can, yeah. Again, you've changed my whole perception on the designer front. Is that I guess if you're working with a good designer, that if you have an idea on site,
Yeah.
you can change. And I like the freedom of changing something straight away and
Yeah.
not having to be on the phone. But I guess what you've said is that if you find the right designer, they allow you the freedom to, within parameters, to be creative and to do, yeah, and to do a
And
little
as
bit.
well, you know, you touched on having that relationship with the customer. So the customer's paid for a drawing, and he's got his designer's drawing all done. But then he's like you're saying, he's buying into you as well. So not only he's buying into your skill, he's buying into your ideas and what you can tweak and what you maybe you can make things better. You know, because you're the guy that's going to build it at the end of the day. So you can, you know, and I think often the customers will value someone more if they're not, like I was saying, copy and pasting.
Yeah,
They'll value a landscape, and I say, you know what, this is great, but I'm going to change that, and I'm going to make this slightly different because actually, look, it's going to be better. And you get
yeah,
excited, and you know that relationship we have with customers, and we're like, you know, I
yeah,
don't know. At the moment, I'm having a blast because although it's a long project, we had a hard winter, and you know, working with cement, it's just been a ball ache, and all of that every day I'm still eager to go on site because the customer values our skill and
yeah.
our ideas. So, like honestly, I think you'll do great working with designers, um, and I think everyone should be looking into that instead
Yeah,
of you know.
yeah, so for me, I want the blend of. So we've got two teams, and the idea is that we have one team doing our stuff, and then another team working with designers, because that is the, yeah, with our capabilities, yeah, the work is done to high standards, but I guess it's quite, as you said, it's quite simple. You're
Yeah,
very strict because we're not designers. So if we have the mix of our jobs and the designer job,
yeah.
we're not going to get any bigger. Having the two could be a really good blend.
I think so. I think that's definitely the way forward. I think you'll really enjoy it as well. So you can you know really do the design jobs and then still have your kind of projects going on and as well you hit both markets then because a designer job like you know not all designer jobs are going to be big because a lot of small gardens. I mean, look at Radial Will. He's doing his garden. If you follow,
Who's that? Sorry,
is it Will?
I'm not sure. I've not heard of Radio Landscapes.
Oh, you haven't heard of him?
No, I know of
Oh
him.
mate, you know he's decent.
Is
So
he? Is he alright? Is he?
you're such a white. And anyway, so his garden, like he's doing at the moment, is small, really narrow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, but it's been designed.
Yeah, it's been
And,
thought out
and,
really well. Yeah.
and you know, if you haven't worked with designers before, or you're a landscaper that haven't done that before, maybe bring on a designer locally. You can go on internet, look at designers in your local area, and actually, when you go on your meetings next time, if you're a young landscaper that wants to have more, say, you know what, maybe if the budget is there, we bring on a designer in.
Yeah,
You
so
know,
I think
so,
that's the better way round, because in my experience is that then the flip side is that I've had loads of like I guess small scale designers approach me and they've gone, oh, I've done this garden, and on the face of it it's a 30 grand garden, and the client's got 12 grand.
yes. I mean, that's always going to be an issue with designers.
Yeah,
That's always going to be an issue with designers because actually, you know, they're meant to ask a budget, and they do, because you design to a budget when you're a designer. And mate, it will get blown out because designer goes funky wonky and they just get creative, you know.
mm.
And that always
I had this one designer. She came around my house and then she blatantly said, "Oh, I've only messaged you because I've seen that you're barley registered."
yeah,
And she presented this project to me. And she goes, and she was like, "Oh, I've done it like all bells and whistles," and it was like an 80 grand project. And I said, "Have you asked the clients what their budget is?" She goes, "Oh, no, I've just designed them a garden." So I went around their house, which is local to me.
yeah,
She had like 15, 18 grand. And this designer's designed this garden, this 80 grand garden. It's like, did you not think to ask
yeah,
what?
yeah. And as well, I mean, it's not just the designer; it's the customers as well. Have you know? Some people will be like, "I want this, I want that," and they're so sure that maybe the designers, you know, think that they know what they're getting into because he wants a garden room and he wants an outdoor kitchen and he wants a hot tub. I mean, those items, if you add them together, you know, it's not like you're already at, you know, for a good hot tub, you're 15 grand. You know, for a garden room, you're anything between 18 to 25. You know, you can do a bit of Googling, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
um, I don't
but,
know. Some
yeah,
customers think they got a 3 grand budget and they want everything, don't they?
yeah. But what I found works really well, and I think this will help. I'm sure it will help. I hope it will get valued on people. Is that always go in small. So the main, and I think garden designers will agree, the main point of any garden structure is figuring out the places are going to utilize, the places are going to sit, figuring out the hard standing, figuring out the structure. Things like plants, things like pergolas, things like hot tubs, they can be added on after. But the most important part is really considering how they're going to use the space,
Yeah,
and in 6 months' time, are they going to regret anything? So for me personally, when I go around for meetings and I measure up, it's a process. It's not just oh, there's your quote.
yeah,
It's a process of, right, how are you going to use the garden? Where are you going to be
yeah,
sitting? Let's get the shape. Let's get the structure. If the budget's there, then great. We can do the plants. We can do the lights. We can do the pergola. We can do this. But if it's not, that's fine. We can add on at a later date. But the key is getting the structure right, because I don't want people having something done, and then in a couple months' time, in 6 months' time, oh, I wish we'd done this. So for
yeah,
me, it's about exhausting the options, going through the process. And I'd much rather do all the hard standing, come away, and then come back in a year's time or 2 years' time to do the rest,
yeah, yeah.
than rush something and it kind of not be suited.
Yeah, it's funny you said that because I tend to price on what they really want. So, you know, I'll price on, you know, what, you know, that portion they really like and that couple. And after I say, for, you know, if it don't fit the budget, then we can strip back and we can find alternatives and we can tweak. And like you say, we can phase out as well. So you can do, like you say, phase one, hard
Yeah,
standing, then, but at least they got a global kind of understanding of if they wanted the perfect garden, they they know
there's
how much it will take.
there's two ways. There's either I've tried your way as well. It's so hard with pricing.
It's not,
Pricing is
but because then you can scare people. So maybe I've scared a lot of people
yeah,
away with this big figure for the
yeah,
full blown, full whistle, full jobby,
yeah,
when actually I could have like not gone low, but gone, you know, let's start small and actually, yeah, cool, maybe we can add to this, and next year
yeah.
you can add some more. So maybe your approach here is definitely more kind of progressive?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've tried both ways. I'd say personally that starting starting to learn basic works better than going high because, like you said, it scares people off. But then it depends on the client because there's certain people that you kind of give them all bells and whistles, and then you scale back a little bit, and they're like, okay, cool. And there's other people that you go there, they've got a £5 grand budget, you do a patio. Why? Oh, can you do a fence? Can you do plants? Can you do a program? And that £5 has gone to 20. So
Yeah,
it's so hard to try and sort of yeah, it's pricing's hard, and trying to understand the clients is
yeah.
yes,
And
it's
there's so
gonna
many methods, isn't there? Because
yeah.
I mean, if you look at some of the big figures on social media, like I've watched, I think it was a live with Simon Bowler, and he prices them out, does a drawing, and he delivers the quotes. And I was like, wow, and that's amazing. You know, like and that's like commitment is, you know, you're showing. But if you had to do that on every project, it's just it's you know it's a big commitment, isn't it? It's a huge. But I guess if the value of that project is worth it, you should. There's so many methods, isn't there? I mean, you could send the quote out and after ask for another meeting to kind of go through it. So maybe that should be a topic we should you know drill in and ask people you know what are their methods or any questions to do with pricing, because I mean,
Yeah,
I know over the years I've sent so many quotes, you get no answer back,
yeah,
and oh man, I mean, you know, it's hard, isn't it? It's just up and down. But you know, recently you said, and I've done the same as well. I'm booked up, and I'm really happy. I'm booked up, you know, a year in advance, and I'm starting to charge to go out to do the quotes.
yeah. So much, yeah,
You know, and I think that's great because you're going to filter out time wasters that don't have a clue what they want, and you're going to filter out people that you don't want to go and see in the first place and waste your time. So the people you're going to see, even if you charge what £50, whatever you're charging for the quote and the meeting, you're going to give them your full.
yeah,
So I know we've had a conversation about it, but I think like if you're busy, don't hesitate. You know,
yeah, for sure. But so my take on it is it's taken me a lot of people have said, or a few people said to me that I should be charging for that, and it's only taken till so I've only started charging for consultations since January.
yeah,
It's taken me a while, but it's because I've got such an influx of inquiries. Um, and it used to frustrate me that you drive half an hour somewhere. You've done all, so I do all my like due diligence beforehand. I give them like a questionnaire to fill out. Can you show me a picture of your garden? What would you like? What from a design view? What's your budget? And there's a few people that are quite woolly, and then you drive there, and it's like a waste of your time. You drive back, and you feel like, considering how much is going on, how much there is to do,
yeah,
um, it's just a waste of time. Whereas now that I'm charging, I can go somewhere to a consultation. Not only am I being paid for the time, but also I'm giving them sort of professional advice. So it's
yeah,
both of us. So so if the project's not something that we can do, with me and the client have come away from the situation better because one, I've been paid for my time, and
yeah,
also to the client, I've essentially designed their garden, or taught them through the motions. So
yeah,
that
yeah,
we both kind of it's kind of win-win. And like you said, the people that so it's funny because someone messaged me yesterday and was like, "Oh, you charging now?" I said, "Yeah, I am," because it's filtering out stuff. You know, how's that going? Actually, it's surprisingly, it's kind of a 70-30 or 80-20 split, like 80% paying and
yeah.
20% not. Whereas before Christmas, I wouldn't have dreamed that. I didn't think that's possible. But it just goes to show that if you people are people, and if you people value you, they can
Mm-mm.
see that it's important. Your time is valued. Your time is important.
Yeah.
That they will pay for your time.
No, exactly. I think you hit that right on the head. Like your time is valuable, and if you're going to try, you're going to give them more than you know. Not that you wouldn't give them the 100% if they want charge. You want charging them, but I know I you know. I give so many ideas when I'm meetings. I like because I love what I do, right? So you're giving everything you've got, and sometimes they don't even bother replying a thank you. It's too expensive, and so I think you know it's a great idea to go ahead, and if you're busy enough and you can justify maybe losing that 20-30% of people that don't want to pay for your meeting, to be honest, they're probably wasting your time anyway. So
Yeah, I think that's it. Is that if you've marketed yourself correctly and you market yourself well, you can't work for anyone.
yeah,
You can't work for everyone.
no,
It's impossible. So why not try and filter out the people that you want to work for?
yeah.
Um,
I mean, the way we filter out people is like by telling them our lead way. That's a great way to scare
yeah,
people away because people want, you know, with Amazon, they want everything done, you know, next week. They want everything done. So, you know, I think some people, when you tell them, oh, I'm 6 months booked in advance, 8 months, 9 months booked in advance, some people actually really like that. They know you're doing well. They know you're busy. You know, so I
yeah.
think sometimes actually being booked up is not a bad thing. It can actually showcase that you're doing something right. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it's a bit of a yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one because you've got to have, I guess you've got to have the self belief and the confidence of people, and this is what I'm sort of shifting my mind frame to is that at the moment I'm getting so many inquiries that I'm turning people away, but it's having that self belief that in 4 months' time those inquiries are still going to be coming through because I'm turning people away. And I guess it's shifting your mindset into yeah, they're still going to come because I've had I sent it to all of my team actually. So we recently did, so Steve and Max recently did a project in Barnum,
yeah,
and a lady like a few doors down, she's gone to the client's house, she's seen the garden, she's gone, wow, we looked at your website, wow, we know you've got a long waiting list, we will wait for you.
yeah.
So,
That's what
yeah,
you want. That's what you want.
yeah,
And you know, if you can get to that point, you know, to be honest, it took me in. I still have lows and ups and downs and stuff like that. But when you get to that point where you've got that confidence and that work behind you, it's no better feeling, isn't there? You know, it's one less worry, and then you can really focus. But as well, something I wanted to talk, because I'm guilty on that. So when I'm busy, suddenly I'm booked up and I'm really busy and I'm worried about my projects and I'm working hard. I kind of lay off the pedal on the, you know, I'm not as responsive on the quotes. Maybe instead of taking, you know, a week or 2 weeks to go out, they take 3 or 4, you know, because you're not worried about the workload coming in because you're really busy and you've got to work there. And suddenly
yeah,
oh wow, I got 2 months and I need to pick in some. That's happened to me. So,
yeah,
you know, that driving factor to always keep pushing forward and always making sure you got new inquiries and new jobs, and you know,
yeah.
it's really important, isn't it?
Yeah, and I guess I'm very fortunate just to skim past is that my background and stuff, I've always got like I've gone from scarcity to abundance mindset that I'm always pushing. Like it's not,
Oh yeah, no,
you can't, as soon as you get comfortable, that's it. So you've always got to keep like,
I mean, if it's something I can take from you, your mind is just bang, 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 and actually, you have to be when you're a business owner, don't you?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same with anything. It's everything's always ever evolving, everything's always shaping, everything's always changing. So you've got to keep like adjusting and sort of maneuvering around stuff. You can't just sit back and go, oh yeah, we never used to prime slabs. We're not going to prime slabs. No,
Yeah,
no.
yeah. Mate, I did some job I didn't promise lads back in the days. Oh, yo. You know what? It's funny because let's touch on that.
Got
Because
it.
I went to see a job. And Jess had the meeting. So I get a rota at the start of the week. So Tuesday I got a meeting. So I got the address, and it said you did the garden like 8 years or 9 years ago. So I'm like, oh wow. And I'm trying to think what garden was it, and like
Yeah,
hopefully it's still standing up and stuff like that. And I remember it was on a slope and it was we dug it by hand. I put, you know, 2 soakaways, my 2 first soakaways. Didn't prime the sandstone. Oh, mate, honestly, you know, I walked over a slab. It was probably, you know, dabbed as well, probably. You know, it was, you know, back in the days when I started, we didn't have Instagram.
Yeah.
We had YouTube, and to be honest, some of the video on YouTube was so basic to learn from. I'm self-taught, so I never worked with another landscaper.
Yeah, so am I.
You know,
Yeah.
so I guess both of us have done a lot of funny things, and I
Yeah.
know we had a laugh, and that's why I want to bring a bit of humour to the evening, and maybe we'll take it in turns to share, because I'm not
Yeah.
ashamed, because well, I am a little bit looking back, but now I look at what we're achieving, both of us.
Hey, I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed at all. My
But
first patio,
I look back.
my first patio, I laid honestly the dead level, dead level. Every slab, and
Hang on.
I spent hours. I spent hours making sure every slab was perfectly level. Honestly, perfect. You could not have picked a better patio to be level.
You could play pool on it.
You could honestly. It was like I was so like in the zone. Like this, every slab has to be like perfect level.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta have to bring up my first fencing job with Aris Rails, and I talked about it on Sunday when I caught you, but I think people are gonna find that funny. So I just thought I was young. I'm gonna treat myself. I'm gonna buy myself a nail gun, and you know I'm gonna shoot every board, and I'm gonna go crazy, and I love it. I'm gonna be the best fencer out there. So me and my wife, you know, we didn't have a lot of money. You know, we were looking on internet for nail guns, and just found this one. Oh, yeah, this one looks good. Let's go with this one. Ordered the nails with it, and it was a first fix nail gun. So if you know what a first fix nail gun is, what you use to fix skirting board. So it sends those little boxy brad nails, and I did the full fence with that, and I didn't. I thought that was okay. I thought that was good. And when I look back at the back of the fence, because I bought the longest nails I did, they were all knocking out at the Irish rail and all bent. So I went with a grinder, grinding them out. So, you know, in those 10 years, now I can honestly say I've learned a lot from mistakes, and I won't be making them again.
Well, I think you go back to your old point about I guess social media, Instagram, YouTube, is that it has been a powerful tool nowadays for people to learn. Because when I did another fencing job, I did another fencing job, and I was doing close forward fencing. I didn't know. I generally 4 years ago, I didn't know what nail gun was, and I was there with my Makita impact driver and screws in my mouth, doing 3 screws per feather edge panel. I did the same thing. The client come out was like, Adam, could you have a look at this? And all the screws were like this. And he said, we're going to be quick with a nail gun. I was like, I didn't know what nail gun
And
was.
you're like, no, I don't need a nail gun.
And that's right, people off there, my screw. And they literally complete, like, not even, so you got the Harris rail, which is like that.
Yeah.
They weren't even going for the middle where you got like the thickest thickness. They were like this.
No, it's so funny. I mean, one more job that I did, and I was so proud. It was for this guy that used to manage the pub I worked at, and no, it's not even the one I told you, because that one I'll tell you after. This is another one. So it was a turfing job, and he ordered a skip. It was my first turfing job, and I didn't know what a turf scratcher was. So yeah, turf cutter, I mean, sorry. So what I did, instead of just skimming with my shovel the grass, I took like a big spade. So in a day, I filled up this huge skip with soil. So then the guy calls me and said, how much soil are we going to have to import? Because basically I got rid of all the good topsoil and I was up to the clay. And then I emptied the skip. Anyway, it's a right shambles. So then I rotivated the grass and raked the lumps out. It was embarrassing, but I was 20. I didn't know Scooby what I was doing,
Yeah.
and I've learned a lot over the years. But I could go on. That's the problem. So how many projects have I done? And I still work in the same area. It's not like I've camped away. But you know, I think a lot of people, when you start off, you do learn from your mistakes, and you do kind of. I'm happy we can look back and laugh about it because we are doing high quality work now. I have to make sure you guys know that.
Yeah.
And you know, again, this is probably why I'm even more driven to do this platform and sharing my content on Instagram and doing reels and doing, you know, taking time to do stories daily. It's like I'm busy.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's what's more authentic, is that we're happy because we're happy to be very honest and very transparent. Like that was us then, but like where we are now is that we've learned, we've grown, we've developed all this sort of stuff. Is that it's easy. Like you're 10 years in, on 4 years in. Like anyone, like it doesn't matter. Like anyone can sort of, I guess, turn it around. Anyone can change, develop, get better.
Exactly. And you know, going back on this, even our methods and the material we use, it's not even that long ago, I was laying so much sandstone. You know, it was project pack, you know, after project pack, and you know, you would be lucky when you were hitting like a sawn sandstone. You'd be like, oh, now I'm going fancy, you know. So now with porcelain and that supplies like Cheshire and London Stone and you know Scott Supply, all those people that bring great products, and that's making us learn new techniques. Like obviously porcelain's a big one, but other things like you know the X-clad, the thin porcelain that go, you know, you got so many things to learn, and we're still learning. And you know, I messed about with the platypus system, you know, to anchor trees, and I just bought a new system. I've done it once before, but it was new to me, and you know, I really enjoyed it. It was just so much fun to touch something new, and I'm looking forward to maybe buying a zip level, you know, because
Oh, yeah, they're amazing.
I mean, they look
They're
good.
amazing. Yeah, my guys don't
And
really use laser level anymore.
mate, it's liquid base. I don't know what liquid they use in the tube, but yeah, it looks amazing.
I don't know how it works. All I know is
But
it's
it's
amazing.
basically based on the old tube and mortar system, isn't it?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
But electronics. So I mean, that's amazing. I'm gonna personally purchase one, or maybe
yeah.
just nick yours one day
Yeah.
and never return it. Who knows?
Oh yeah, I've given it to all of my guys, and they've all just said straight away, like, it's one, that's so easy to use, and then
Yeah.
secondly, we don't want to use they're really snobby now. They don't want to use a laser level anymore,
No, exactly.
even though it's,
I mean, we still use a spirit level and pegs. No, but you know, it's some new tools, some new materials. So we are learning. Like I haven't tried a zip level, so that's something I'm going to learn again. And you know,
yeah,
so what I'm going with this is that we're always learning and we're always improving. You got people that on social media and in general with like, you know, we touch base on a bit like Bali and like APL and like all those awards. I've never really got involved, so that's my goal for this year is to, you know, sign up and get a bit more involved. But that is setting the bench, and then you got people like Ben from Broad Landscape. I mean, he's setting the bar, you know, the bar so high with porcelain and cutting and stuff. Then you got, you know, beautiful carpenters, and you got stonemason that are just like
yeah.
working beautiful features in their projects. And so I think like maybe I wouldn't be as skilled if it wasn't for this platform and being
No,
pushed.
definitely. And I think my opinion of it is the difference between this and Facebook is that with Instagram, it's all kind of like people putting out, as you said, Ben, Justin, all these people putting out like really high end,
Yeah,
amazing work that you kind of aspire to be to. Whereas Facebook just seems all negative. All, oh, look at this, the dot and dab. Oh, look at
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
For me,
Pointing
my
at the
experience on
fault.
Facebook is look at like everyone is just like you. I guess it's, you have to be in that mindset. But for me, anyway, Instagram's more of a wow. Look at that skill. How can I get
Yeah,
to that? Whereas all the stuff I see on Facebook, even if someone puts something out skillful,
yeah.
everyone just wants to put a
No,
put that.
exactly. Exactly. I think, you can really showcase a skill and you can share it. And we talked about it, but like back in the day, old people had a skill and that's how they made money. So if I was a winemaker, let's say, because that's what I studied, and I made this wine this way, I wouldn't share it to anyone willy-nilly, because if you share your knowledge, suddenly, you know, he's going to know your secrets. He's going to be able to.
I disagree with that because
I do as well, but
yeah,
that's what they did back in the days.
yeah,
Now, with this, actually, you're just improving the standards, and you keep on improving them
yeah,
because you know,
yeah. I guess it's been that mindset of that one you get the person sharing gets the value of I'm sharing my knowledge, and then secondly they're never going to be as good as you because they're second to you. You're the person that created that,
yeah,
so they're never going to be as good as you. So it's a win-win for you because you're giving people the value.
yeah, no,
That's why I don't like people going. I don't like people saying, "Oh, I'm not going to tell you how I did this." Why
no.
is it a secret? What? Why not help other people?
Yeah. No, and that's the point I'm making is, it's so nice that the fact that I turned to, and that is back in the days, I turned to YouTube to learn few basic skills, and now I'm in a position where I feel like I can share some skills, and and that's why I take the time to do the stories, and it feels so good when I get my messages when I get home, and I'm like, I got some questions, and I go, I love watching this, and how did you do that? And that drives me to want to share even more,
Yeah.
and that's why we started YouTube. Although I need someone to help me with my editing. But I didn't realise I just posted the video. I filmed the wrong way. I mean, that's basic. Apparently, you just have to watch a video on YouTube and they explain you how to be a YouTuber. But that's why I'm doing that. It's because I want to really show longer videos. Because the only problem with Instagram is the length. Although you can show a lot in your stories and do stories after stories, it doesn't stay on there. So your reels are what, they're a minute, aren't
Yeah.
they? So I mean, it's nice to be able to share. I like the sharing, and I like the industry,
And
and this is why we're
I
here.
think that's what I'm really excited about what we're doing here is that it's something that I know you are as well, but something that I'm looking forward to every week in the diary. Is we're going to have someone. We got the next guest we have in is huge. It's going to be a little bit
You guessed
controversial.
it. We're back
It's
on
going,
site.
it's going to be. You guessed it. We're back on site. It's going to be controversial, but he's a really good guy, and it's going to. But it's so from that aside, going forward, it's everyone's got something. Whether you're good at steel work, whether you're good at resin miters,
Yeah,
whether you're good at block work, whether you're good at timber, you're good at planting, you're good at marketing. Everyone's got their own. Everyone's specialised in something,
yeah,
and it's having the I guess picking the brains and just extracting a little bit of information of people might listen to us for the whole hour and they might thought, oh, if there's like 30 seconds or 20 seconds that they're taking like slight value,
yeah.
then it's like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
we might have waffled on, but if there's like some sort of something little that they've taken away from this, and I think that's what we're going to do after today is that next week we have someone on that people are going to they're going to be able to take something away that's going to make their lives better and improve their business.
No,
Um,
exactly. I mean, it's Matipo, isn't it? So Matipo is back. He's back, isn't he?
George is back. George is back.
George is back, and the two brothers working together. And like you say, you know, they're controversial, I think, in the landscaping world in some ways. So it'd be quite nice to hit on that. And they were really quite active on social media. He had his own podcast. I had him on the phone because although I followed him, I've never really chatted to him. So I had him on the phone. He sounds like a really, really, really nice guy. And it'd be nice to, sorry, it'd be nice to hit on, you know, why he's come back to the industry, what's pushed him to stop in the first place, a bit of personal around him. And like you say, you know, this live we're doing, we want to share as much as we can information wise, and hopefully, like you were saying, people can take that little bit of substance from it.
Exactly.
And use it on a daily basis. It's why we're going to have designers as well come on this platform, and we're going to have suppliers and other, you know, having people that are better at metalwork. And why, you know, I'm using Justin because Justin, his background is like engineering or something, you know, so you can see his skill translate in his work. And Matipo, he's got quite a clear style, hasn't he? It's like lots of different colours, lots of different textures, and you know, some people like it, some people don't.
Yeah, there's still something to learn.
Exactly.
Yeah, everyone's got something to learn. Everyone's got something to give.
Yeah, especially me. Got lots to give, lots to give. But yeah, so Matipo is going to be with us, and we should really announce that we're going to have the topic will be surrounding Matipo and the kind of the struggle with running a business, I would say. And
I guess because he closed down from up north. He moved down to Devon. At one point, he was going to work with me.
Yeah.
And so I've had quite a good relationship with him recently. And he's a really lovely guy. I still don't know the whole backstory, which would be interesting. But it's the struggle of running a business. Not sure what's happened, but then given the right, I want to go back out again, and that's where I've got the respect. It's like he could have come and worked with me. It would have been good for both of us, but he's gone, do you know what? I want to give it one more go.
I think you know, and we can touch on that, can't we? We can touch on making that decision, because in my dark moments of running a business, I've had that thought, maybe I'll go and work for someone else. You know, I get rid of all the bullshit and I just do my craft for someone else, and I don't have to worry about
just on that point, what is there anything in particular that, if you were to list like a number one thing that has pushed you to that, is it staff? What has pushed you?
So it'll be three things: staff, money, and just, you know, workload. So, you know, if we come out of the winter, money is tight because we do garden maintenance as well, so that always gets hit hard. And then you've got staff issues, then you've got a van that break. You know, I've been on the brinks, you know, multiple times over the 10 years. And we've always, you always recover, you always make ways. But in some of those dark moments, I was like, I'll go and work for someone else, fuck this shit. You know, and it's hard to be at that point where you're struggling so hard, and you still have to go to work every day and putting the grind, but at the back of your mind, you've always got something like, you know, some unfinished business or or a customer that just hasn't played ball, or something's gone wrong, or, you know, it's a lot to touch on. I mean, you know, we can go on for another hour to explain all the bloody.
There's so many different sort of.
I mean, that would be a great topic. So I got a topic. Dodgy customers, man. I had a couple of dodgy customers over the years. That was just dodgy, and maybe
How dodgy?
Oh man, trying to touch me. No, I'm joking. Taking pictures of me. No, no, just dodgy as in like not understanding, changing things, and me being naive and just getting on with it. And then when it comes to the invoicing, they're like, "What's this for? You know, this is what you quoted." You know, like just awkward people.
Yeah.
You know, I've had my fair share of them over the 10 years doing what I've done, and I think every business have had it. Um, you know, not recently for us. We've been very lucky. We don't that we don't have that many customers a year, if you like. I
Yeah.
used
Yeah.
to, because when you used to do small garden, it was bang, bang,
You
bang,
tell
bang.
me everything. Yeah. Yeah.
But now, you know, you get 3 or 4 customers a year, and they leave you, they let you in their lives because you're there for so long. You
Yeah.
walk away and you're friends, you know. So now
Yeah.
that would be a topic. I mean, we're running out of time. I knew that would happen, but maybe we can ask the people that are still left and watching. And I want to say thank you for tuning in, and
Yeah.
thank you
Thank
for
you, guys.
watching Adam and me. I know, you know, you could have been watching Love Island or something better, but no, you know, it was great. It was great. Our chat. Maybe I don't know how you want to play it, Adam, but maybe people can leave messages or comments or
Yeah. Have any questions?
yeah, any questions, and you know, any topics you want to hit as well. Something that you really want to hear. So something we could cover one subject for the full hour with one guest that is related to
Can
that
we, can we,
subject.
can we cover landscaping?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Is that okay? Yeah.
Yes, that'd be great.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah.
Thank you, Adam. That's what we're here for. But yeah,
Justin's asked who would win in a thumb war. I think
yeah.
you would. Your thumbs. What is that?
Look at my thumbnail.
What is that?
But Justin can talk. He's got some big old thumbs as well.
Yeah, Justin's got big toes for thumbs.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got weird thumbs, but I put it down to hard graft. So you know,
I've got weird toes.
we don't want to see your toe. Oh yeah, they are weird. A weird toe.
They're weird things.
But yeah, no. Any. And you know, DM Adam, DM me if you want any.
I don't want any DMs.
I want loads of DM.
I don't want any DMs.
No, just send me loads of nudes.
Just,
No, I mean, come on, let's be a bit serious here, Adam. What, you know, topics and guests as well. If you want to be a guest,
yeah.
DM Adam. You know, but you know, you need to be related to the landscaping industry. You know, we can't have a baker on here. Just
Kind of what?
a baker or a postman. It just won't work. It just won't work the same. So it needs to be landscape related, as in, or if you're a gardener, because that's what I'm, yeah. If you're a landscaper.
Did you need to explain what landscape was?
Anyway, so anyway, your turn to chat because you confused me. So
Yeah. If anyone's got any questions, ask DMLs.
yeah, that's it. That's it. And that's a wrap, I guess.
Yeah, and George is looking forward to George
Yes.
next Wednesday.
Yeah, looking forward to having George and chatting about that. And yeah, that's it. It's a wrap. I guess goodbye to everyone.
Good everyone.
Adam, I'm going to call you. I'm going to have a little recap. What about that?
What are you going to call me?
What now?
No, but what are you going to call me?
Pardon?
You said you're going to call me. I asked you what you're going to call me.
I'm going to call you on the phone.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.